I had to talk about this very, very, very interesting interview that Emmitt Smith, the great Emmitt Smith, had with Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk. Now, this interview, for some reason, kind of been swept under the rug as far as, in my algorithms, as far as the people that I jumped right into what he was talking about during the interview. He asked Emmitt about his theory. So he has this theory, like me. I've had this theory for quite some time, actually, probably longer than Mike Florio at this point, and I've have it documented about Jerry Jones not really caring about winning Super Bowls at this point. It's just marketing jargon at this point. He's just spinning a wheel, and we're just along for the ride. And I have content showing that, but Mike has finally come to the realization that I came to years ago, and he says this to Emmitt. It's kind of a theory and a question that he poses to Emmitt, so I'm gonna read it. He says, I asked Emmitt about my own theory that Jerry Jones' quest for another Super Bowl win is all talk, that he claims to want to win one more to keep the fans engaged, but that his actions don't back up his word or his world. He goes on and says, you lose credibility, Emmitt said of Jones. And if you're losing credibility, you're losing respect. If you lose respect, you have no honor. At the end of the day, I agree to some level. Things have to change. I thought the reason why I was convinced that McCarthy was going to get fired because last year there was a whole lot of talk about, okay, that might be it. If this doesn't perform this year, okay, you're going to accept 12 wins and the playoff berth, but you're going to accept the way we got kicked out of the playoffs? I mean, dominated? I mean, it's like we went out and played with our hands tied behind our backs, or we left our minds up in the team facility in Frisco and didn't even take it over to AT&T Stadium in Arlington. It was such a disappointing thing. It was just bad. It's bad all the way around. I even hate talking about it because I feel responsible. I feel like I could have helped, and I don't know how, but yeah, it was bad. The great Emmitt Smith said this. I mean, he's really speaking to my soul. Like my soul, he's like my spirit, animal. Like he's speaking the gospel. This is exactly how I feel. He's speaking how I've been feeling for several years with this goddamn team. He continued. So Mike asked him, Mike Florio goes on and he asks a great question, just a follow-up. He goes to Emmitt, goes, well, if this is happening and we see this happening, so what's missing? He asks Emmitt. So Emmitt goes to this. This is where it gets really spicy. He goes, nobody wants to fight no more. Emmitt said, nobody wants to fight hard anymore. They want to say, oh, we're on the Cowboys. Tell me how good I am. Check out my Instagram posts. See me on my podcast. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm everything without doing anything. And everybody's patting them on the back without doing anything. People want to give them so much without doing nothing. And what they're living off of what happened in the past. Not what's going on right now. They're not establishing their own legacy, let alone building off the legacy that was established. When I got to the Cowboys, I knew one thing. I knew I could not disappoint Tony Dorsett as a running back. And I knew I could not disappoint Robert Newhouse as a running back or Calvin Hill, or let alone Bullet Bob Hayes. Then I knew I could not disappoint Captain Comeback Roger Staubach, Ed Too Tall Jones. I embraced the history of what we were because I loved them as a Cowboy when I was a kid myself. That is the essence of Emmitt Smith. That is a Cowboy at heart. And we got a lot of guys on that team that don't even understand what he's saying right there. That's a foreign language to these kids. I'm sorry. Micah Parsons, he needed to listen to this interview. He had a lot more to say, but those are the two parts of it that I took the most. Quotes stuck out to me the most because they resonated the most. It spoke the gospel. It spoke the truth when it comes to these guys and their stats. Everybody cares about these stats. Oh, I got an all pro. I did this. I got these many sacks. Who cares? What did you win? You won nothing. And that's what Emmitt is saying. You didn't win anything. You didn't do anything. Everyone's getting sacks and stuff. Let's use Micah, for example. You're talking all this crap and this, that, and the third. And it's like, Micah, you have 4 playoff appearances. And in those playoff appearances, you have 1 sack and 8 tackles. Explain. He couldn't explain it. That is poor performance, sir. So you need to step it up. I don't care what you did in the regular season. Emmitt doesn't care. These guys are great. These are all-time greats. Emmitt Smith has the all-time leading rushing record. He has the all-time TD record for a running back. He put the time in. He got 3 chips. What did you do? You got a couple sacks, and who cares? You've done nothing until you've done what this man has done. So point is, guys, build your own legacy. Enough talk. Enough of this. Enough of all the antics and the gaslighting and the this and the that and your feelings and your emotions. You can all just put it up where the sun don't shine. It's time to nut up or shut up. That's it. You put the star on your helmet, doesn't make you a cowboy. That's it. You got to earn the star.